Okay, hi.
Hi, Lisa.
It is nice to meet you, Keith Scott, and
Same
this is
here.
going
Same here.
this is going to be interesting. I've got four grandbabies or grandchildren
Ah,
now, and
good.
they're going to be tickled
Congrats.
to hear that their nana is co-hosting with you. I think. I hadn't
That's
even
great.
told them yet. This is going to be a surprise. So
You'll have to find the cartoons I did to play to them.
yes. So let me click out of here right quick.
Hmm.
So what was the golden age of animation? I have trouble. I'm kind of a little bit dyslexic, so
That's okay.
How do you
That's
say
fine.
that?
Yeah,
Animation.
and animation. Yeah. Now the
Animation. There
golden
we
age.
go.
Yeah,
Animation.
yeah. I think the golden age really refers to when it's almost like pre-television. When every home had a radio, and radio used to be drama and comedy before TV came along. And I think the golden age of animation really was when sound came into the movies. So you could say it was roughly between 1930 and 1970. And by 1970, TV cartoons had really replaced all the ones that used to play in theaters. Um, but yeah, the golden age of animation really refers to theatrical animation. The days of when you used to see me, what's up, Doc? Bugs Bunny and all those great characters. And then I think, like I've mentioned Hanna-Barbera so often, but they were the kings of TV animation, really, from about 1958. So let's say that the chief part of the golden age for cartoons in cinemas was, about 1930 to 60, say.
That's really cool. Are you able to do
Interesting.
a Scooby Doo voice?
Yes, of course. Oh, yes. Although that was one that I was never personally asked to do. I think they had replacements in the States who were doing it. Like I know Frank Welker took over from, I think Don Messick was the first, because he'd already done Right Roach, for Astro and the Jetsons. And then it was but no, I'd never been asked to do him, but most of the Hanna-Barbera ones that we did here in Australia were for a theme park that Bill Hanna had authorized, which used to have, maybe for 20 years or so, like from the 80s until about the turn of the century, a Hanna-Barbera land within this theme park called Wonderland. And there were all these rides, like a Flintstones ride and a Snagglepuss attraction. Heavens to Murgatroyd, So, Scooby was one of the only ones who was super famous that I never really got to do.
Pretty cool. Fire away, Lisa.
Who was your favorite Looney Tune character?
I would definitely have to say Bugs Bunny, because I think his cartoons were, I guess, the funniest, and also I think by all the polls that they'd taken, it really was the most popular theatrical character of all time. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he had the sassiness to just appear so cool and relaxed in the face of danger. Like Elmer Fudd might have had a cartoon shotgun in his face, and he just calmly, instead of screaming in terror, he chewed on a carrot. And, what's the matter, Mac? What's up, Doc? What are you doing with the blunderbuss? So he was like, and again, I think half of the reason for his enormous popularity was because adults loved those cartoons as much as the kids. They saw them on different levels.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, even the TV cartoons like the Rocky and Bullwinkle were known for. I can remember when I was a little kid and I fell in love with it, and I could hear my mother laughing at jokes I didn't get, and I knew that in a few years I'd get them. but it was frustrating because you knew it worked on all those different levels. And that's what Matt Groening said when he was coming up with The Simpsons, that he used that as a template because it did appeal to two different age groups at the same time.
That's really cool. Next question, Lisa.
Yes. So, what's your favorite brand of animation between Warner Brothers, Hanna-Barbera, and Disney?
That's a tough one because really, I think Disney was known for the most accomplished animation. He really always had the absolute top artists. And some of his cartoons, those ones he did with Goofy in the 1940s, like How to Ski and How to Swim and all of that, they were just classics because they were like animated silent movie gags, and it was so realistic to see these this artwork. But then again, I also love the sassiness of the Warner Brothers humor. And I think with the younger generations that have come along after me, the Warner Brothers ones seem to hold up the best, even though a lot of the references in them are dated. There's something about that body of work that still appeals to these younger generations. It's like an attitude, or enough of the gags still work and don't need to have things explained about the context of a joke way back in time. Mind you, there was also a lot of very topical references and caricatures of old movie and radio stars that nobody knows now except oddballs like me.
So yeah, after that, my question I'll ask is, what was your reaction when they revealed to you that you were going to be replaced as the Diesel 10 voice?
I think I'd been in the business for so long by then that I just thought, oh, well, this is par for the course. You know, it didn't really bother me. It would have been nice to be on the movie, but it happens all the time. Let me tell you.
It sounded like this, you know. I'm going to Pinchy. Why don't you come and get these trucks for me? You know, he talked like that all the time, and he was always talking to Pinchy, his crane on top of him. And he used to get really upset with Pinchy. Stop that! What do you think you're doing? This is the voice of Diesel 10, who's been sniffing too much of his own diesel fumes.
A bit better. At first, I thought it was only me. I thought, oh, what did I do wrong?
Can you give your Diesel 10 impressions if you can, the ones you used?
Which one, sorry?
The Diesel 10 ones, the lines you did?
I can't remember them. It's so long, but I know that the footage exists. I should have kept the script. I should have had it ready for podcasts like this. But it was just some threatening line right near the beginning where he sort of looked straight at the camera, the Diesel, with a kind of an evil grin. And it was... I mean, if you ever find the dialogue, I can reproduce it for you the way I did it. Although apparently you may have heard that there's a cut down reel which they call the director's cut, where they've used part of me and part of the replacement guy. And I've heard it, and just occasionally I'll think, oh yes, that's me, and it's like 20 years gets stripped away, and it's just like I'm there in the studio. It just all comes rushing back to me, this studio in Toronto.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us a bit about George of the Jungle and the sequel.
Well, George of the Jungle originally, if you've seen the old cartoons, they only did 17 episodes, and it was after Rocky and Bullwinkle, but J. Ward Productions did this series that was kind of late in the game for them. By then, most of their money was being made on commercials, like if you remember the old Captain Crunch. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was sort of based on this fairy tale voice, you know. Ahoy, mateys, Captain Crunch here. Sail the seven seas. Well, they did hundreds of those commercials, and Quisp and Quake and all these Quaker Oats things. But somehow they had the funding to just do this short series called George of the Jungle, a parody of Tarzan, you know. And it had two other characters in the half hour. Super Chicken, which was, of course, a great send up of all the silly superhero parody type things, and Tom Slick, which was based on, they're like it's very similar. It came at the same time as Wacky Races. All about and I think it was also a match for, at that time, the biggest craze in the world was the slot car industry. So those cartoons came along and matched that. But no, George of the Jungle was memorable because a lot of people said they could only vaguely remember these 17 short cartoons, but the music that was composed by a guy called Stan Worth, it was unforgettable. I mean, once it's in your head, you never forget. George of the Jungle, watch out for that tree. And then you hear Bill Scott doing the voice.